Hello and welcome to another lesson in the HTML series. Today we are going to learn how to add text to our first web page. And before we start doing that, we are going to use one of the extensions that we installed in our previous lesson, and that is the Live Preview plugin. So what I'm going to do is that you are going to right click any empty space in your project. And you are going to see this dialog with so many menus. So you are going to scroll down to show preview. You click on that and we are going to have a preview, and that is a web browser that has been incorporated in your code editor, that is VS Code. So anything that we do, we can see the results right here in our VS Code. No need to minimize the software and be checking it in a Google Chrome or the Google Edge or any other web browser that we use. So you right click, then you hit on show preview. In our first lesson, when we were talking about the basic structure of the HTML5 document, we said that all the visible contents in your HTML page must be embedded in the body tag. So everything that we are going to do has to be in the body tag. So now we are going to add text to our web page. And to add text to our web page, we have two major texts that we can add to our web page. The first one is headings. We can add headings to our web page, and we can add paragraphs. We can add headings and paragraphs. And with the headings, just as when we were in school, we used to write notes. Wherever you want to write something, you write the heading before you write something under it. That is the same way it works in HTML. So the headings, we have 6 level blocks of headings. That is from H1, that is heading 1 to H6. So when you want to add a heading in your web page, what you have to do is to add one of these heading block elements. That is H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. So to do that, you first have to open our first angle bracket. Then write H. Let's begin with H1. We close it. Then we have our opening and closing tag, and in between that we can type something like my first page. So can you see that as we type, we see the results directly in our live preview? So this helps us a lot, as we can identify, it helps us to identify any errors that we make in our coding processes. So now we have what our first heading, that is my first page. So as I told you, with the headings, we have 6 level block element of headings. So this one is H1. So now let's come under it and let's use the H2. So angle bracket H2 close, and we have our H2. So let's type the same thing, my first page. Okay, so now let's add one more, that is H3, heading 3 element, and we are going to add the same text, my first page. So now we can see the difference here. You see that when we use the H1 element heading, you realize that the texts are very big. So as we progress, the H2 is a little bit smaller than the first one, and the H3 follows. So if we are to continue, we realize that up to the H6 is the smallest of them all, and H1 is the biggest of them all. So it depends on your own preference or what you want to do in your web page. So if you want the text or your heading to become very big, you can consider using either the H1 or H2. And when you want it to be very small, you can consider using the H5 or the H6 element. So this is how to add heading elements to your web page. I told you that there are two major ways. So now we've learned how to add the headings. Now let's look at the paragraph. To add a paragraph, we use the P tag for paragraphs. So what we do is first angle bracket P. Please note that the P is a small letter P. So you close that, and we have both our opening and closing tag of the paragraph tag. Okay, so now let's type something. This is a paragraph. Yes, so we have been able to add this paragraph. So now let's add another paragraph. So we just type the P, open angle bracket P, we close it, and we have our closing tag. This is another paragraph. Yes, okay, no, this is another paragraph. Okay, so now we have been able to add text to our first web page, and we can see the results right here in our live preview. So to summarize all what you've learned today, you can add heading block elements, and you can also add paragraph tags, and that these are the ways or how we add text in HTML or in web pages. So with the heading, we have from H1 to H6, from the biggest to the smallest. Then we have the paragraph. I believe you've learned something today. Follow me, like, share, and subscribe for more HTML content.